Rocket League just announced their new updates coming on March 11th, together with their Season 22. And in this trailer, they showed a couple of new features coming to the game with this update. In particular, let's start out here with the flip reset indicator. You could see it there, this little indicator right there. It comes in and out pretty quickly, so it doesn't seem that distracting to me, but that's still up for debate, whether we'll find out basically when the update comes out, whether it's super distracting or not. But this is a setting that you can turn off and on, and your opponents can't see it, right? So that's very important to note, is your opponents can't see the flip percent indicator. Some people I've heard don't really like this. To me, so far, it seems fine. If not even maybe good. But that's still up for debate. Now, maybe even more importantly here, they're introducing a lot of changes in this screen right here. Here we've got custom training randomization, which is basically something that I imagine they're using because they're basically removing it from Bacchus mod, and Bacchus mod is basically something that they're removing, right? Which I talk about in a different video that I'll refer to back again later. I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch that one. Yeah, Bacchus mod will be gone probably, right? And custom training randomization is one of the things that would be going away. Other things we've got here: new Rocket Pass, nobody cares. MMR display, which is something again taken away by removing Bacchus mod, so they're covering that as well. Use standard boost sound. This one is actually a really good one. I think that's really cool. I imagine some people would have hoped that you could, use the alpha boost sound as well, but I imagine it's just it says use standard boost sound, so I'm gonna imagine you could just turn the boost sound from, I don't know, slime boost into the normal one, right? So not the alpha boost one, as I imagine some people would have hoped. But regardless of, maybe they could have done even more with that, I think it's a really cool one. Population numbers, it's back. It's one of those where, like, yeah, okay, it's cool. The game is popular again, or really popular again, if you will. So, no surprise they're bringing that back. You can't really give them too much credit for that, because they literally removed this feature themselves when the game started doing not as good as before. And here, flip reset indicator, as we've already talked about. Boost respawn timer, which I've also talked about in my last video, actually, so you can check that out. And basically, let's look at an image I've created here with our summary. This is basically, a standard thing I do now, but based just on the information we got from this update in particular, looking at the features that they're adding or removing, whatever. Basically, the negatives are they haven't replaced Bacchus mod goal perspective. What I mean by this is when a goal is scored, you see the goal from a certain perspective, regarding the POV from your teammates or yourself or whatever. And Bacchus mod does provide a unique goal perspective, which many people consider to be superior to what you have in the normal Rocket League game, right? So they haven't talked about that, so I imagine that will be gone, and it will go back to the worst perspective that you have in the basic game without the modified version with Bacchus mod. Then some, debatable things, or things that aren't that great, are MMR population. They're sharing that information again in the game, which again, they took this away, so I'm not really going to give them a positive, and nobody really cares anyway, so that's fine. It's good that they did it, but nobody really cares. Boost respawn timer, that's a debatable one. I've this one even more so than the flip percent indicator. It's definitely sparked a lot of discussion about whether people like it or not. For me, I'm still very 50-50 on it, although I think I might be edging towards thinking that it's good, to be honest, but it's not, an opinion that I'm particularly confident about, and it's more a feeling than like a confident, like, I think this, so yeah, interested to see how that one plays out for sure with the update. Flip percent indicator doesn't seem that distracting. I've put that in a, debatable thing here, because we still have to actually see it in the game itself. Then for positives, standard boost sound, I think that's great. You know, a lot of people will have certain boosts that they just don't like because of how they sound, and now, you know, you can change the sound to the basic sound. A lot of people also just mainly use the alpha boost, so I get this won't apply to everyone, but for me, I use standard boost, so this actually is quite helpful for people like me, where now I can use other boosts as well. And then here, Bacchus mod replacement tactics, basically. MMR displays what they're bringing to the game, and custom training changes, as I mentioned before. So, though you could easily argue that these Bacchus mod changes basically go in the debatable part, just because you're taking it away from Bacchus mod. But that's taking previous information into account as well. You know, the information I talked about in my other video, talking about how they're removing Bacchus mod, because when you include that whole thing into this entire thing changes, because Bacchus mod is obviously something huge. The community has relied upon it a lot, but this is, you know, just simply looking at the information that we've got from, you know, this update alone, ignoring, you know, the coming changes in April, which will probably remove Bacchus mod, unfortunately. But more on that in a video right over here, or maybe there. I don't know yet. You'll have to find out. But yeah, it's gonna there, yeah, right there, right there. As I thank you guys for watching. Maybe, you know, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.